Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. First of all, apologies for coming in late today. Mix up on my side, but we're back, we're good, and we are live. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. Welcome wherever you are. And indeed, we do have a wonderful book together that we're going to be looking at. Thank you so much for joining in. Please, as always, let me know where you are and who is joining in with you today. Thank you for being here. I am excited for this one. We do have a wonderful book, and this one is Art of Protest. Yes, creating, discovering, and activating art for your revolution. Yes, this one by D. Nichols, and of course illustrated by DAGADITA, Molly Mendoza, Olivia Twist, SADDO, and Diego BECAS. So I hope that you're ready for this one. It is a beautiful one indeed, an inspiring book, and hopefully that one, by the time we're leaving here today, you will be inspired to create protest art of your own. Thank you so much for joining me today on Story Time. I am glad we're here. We're going to be going through bits of this book and enjoying it, and I hope that after this you can find it at your local library, find it where you get books. Thank you so much for joining in. The Art of Protest, and this one is from CANDLEWICK Press. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. I hope you're ready. Indeed, D. Nichols, thank you for this wonderful book that we're about to share. Welcome to Story Time. Let me know where you are. I hope that you are doing well. Thank you for being here. One more time, apologies for coming in late. There was a bit of scheduling issue on my end, but we're here and we're thankful. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time, and thank you for your patience. Thank you so much for joining in. Let us see who is with us this morning, ready to enjoy a wonderful story. Good morning to you, Sarah and Nathan. How are you doing in Illinois? And they say we've spent our morning watching new bald eagle hatchling from Berry College Eagle. Oh my goodness. Oh, please do share the link if there is one. So, I've seen that. Thank you so much for joining in and sharing that. Sounds like a fun morning indeed. We'll try to live up to that. Good morning to you, Sarah and Nathan, and of course, Amanda West one more time. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely love it. I love those animal videos. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time, the live cams. Thank you indeed. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Marietta. How are you doing today out in Massachusetts? Yes, indeed. Welcome. Henry, even though you're not here today, we're still sending you love and hugs and hope everything is going okay. Thank you so much for joining in. And you say, hope everyone is doing well. We hope so too, right? Thank you so much, Marietta. Absolutely appreciate you and appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. Welcome. Thank you. Oh, yes, Jason. The mystery is solved. Now we know who Cool Kid Life is. Good morning to you, Jason from Emerson. Thank you so much for joining in. Good to see you here, buddy. And I hope you're ready for soccer today because we are on. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad you're here today. Thank you, Jason. And of course, if Autumn is with you, Good morning, Autumn, as well. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Welcome. Good morning to you, Chriselle, Clay, and Rocco. How are you doing out in Long Beach, California? Thank you so much for joining in today's Storytime. I am glad you're here with us today and ready to enjoy this beautiful, beautiful story, indeed, this beautiful book that we have to share together. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you, Betty Deshay, and of course, Rikia. How are you doing today with Aqua the Dolphin? Well, thank you so much for joining in today. Aqua, good morning to you, and of course, Rikia and Betty. Welcome to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in today. Lydia Yamaguchi, how are you doing today? Yes, indeed, I see you're up early. Wow. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Welcome, welcome. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Say we hope our Storytime friends enjoy this as much as we do. Yes, indeed. There is a link. If you're wondering what that one is, you can go back. Let's see if we can put up the other message too so you can see and you can enjoy. Just follow that link that was posted by Amanda West, and you too can get to watch a new bald eagle hatchling from Berry College Eagle. So please, yeah, do that. Go along, follow that as well. But after story time, let us enjoy it together right now. And we're about to get started with our book, The Art of Protest. I love this one, and it is written by D. Nichols, and indeed a collaborative work indeed with all the illustrators, Diana DAGADITA, Marley Mendoza, Olivia Twist, SADDO, and Diego BECAS. And of course, we're reading this one with permission of CANDLEWICK Press. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am glad you're here. Welcome to Storytime. Please do join me on the other side as we get ready. Join me on the other side of this message so we can enjoy together. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I'm a children's book author, illustrator, and high school art educator. I am the author of 30,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the National 9/11 flag, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport and published with Worthy Kids # book group. One thing that drew me to writing 30,000 Stitches was the idea that people from all different communities came out to stitch this flag and make it whole again. So I hope that when people read 30,000 Stitches, they remember the power of sharing our stories. When people came out to stitch the flag, they shared their stories, whether about loss or pain or love. We all have stories to tell, and by sharing our stories and listening to one another's stories, we can create a better understanding of each other and create a sense of connection and unity. And this is what creates a more inclusive world. I hope you enjoy your story time with Mr. Limata. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Amanda. And once again, congratulations on your baby. Thank you. Welcome back to Storytime. We're about to get started. The Art of Protest. Oh, no. Art of Protest. I keep saying the Art of Protest. Art of Protest. Creating, discovering, and activating art for your revolution. This one is indeed beautiful. I am excited to share this one by D. Nichols, illustrations by Diana DAGADITA, Molly Mendoza, Olivia Twist, SADDO, and Diego BECAS. And of course, we're reading it with permission of CANDLEWICK Press. So let us first of all start with the introduction. We're going to be reading excerpts from this book, and I want us to particularly focus on the youth-led movement, and we're going to be getting to that. But this is our book. Oh, yes. Here we go. And there's a quote here that I thought was amazing from Keith Haring. And clearly the author does too. Art is nothing if you don't reach every segment of the people. And especially with protest art, right? All right. So these are the chapters in here. And we're going to look at the first one. We're going to look at D. Nichols' story, her story as an artivist. And I love that. Not activist, but artivist. I love the play on words on that in Ferguson. And then we're going to jump to chapter 3, where we're going to be looking at youth leadership and protest art around the world. I particularly chose that this week because we are celebrating all you young people out there who are our future and all the amazing things that you're doing today to make this world a better place. And And just wanted to remind you that there are people that are doing a lot out there. You look at them and you can see what they're doing. And also in your own way, hopefully you're inspired and can also do your bit. That is very important. It doesn't matter how little we are. We still can do this. Yes. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with the first part. And this is the introduction. And it says, when I was a kid growing up in Mississippi and Tennessee, I learned pretty early about social injustices that exist in the world. And we know those exist, right? I remember defending myself against bullies who did not like me because of my dark skin. I recall watching my favorite TV shows and learning about South African apartheid, police brutality, the global AIDS crisis, and historical movements for civil rights through episodes that dared to highlight these causes. And that is key indeed. Those that dared to highlight that. This work is ongoing. This work is not easy. You will face people that will oppose, but we have to keep on fighting. As I recognized the power of the media in expanding my knowledge, I began to create art in my teens that reflected the issues happening around me. 9/11, Hurricane Katrina, the January 6 trials, and by the time I found myself as an arts organizer on the ground in the 2014 Ferguson uprising, I felt equipped with the experience to deploy art as a way of bringing people together to raise our collective voices. Powerful indeed. Thank you so much for sharing that story, Dee. And then I'll jump to this part here. It says, with this book, you might be more compelled to raise your voice about the issues, causes, and global concerns that matter to you. Look around your community, see what needs to be done, and try and do it. Our society constantly experiences waves of social movements, campaigns for justice, and fights against climate issues and disease on a global scale. And no matter where you live, or what language you speak, or what cause you choose, it is my hope that this book will encourage and equip you to use art as a language and instrument that can help you champion your chosen cause. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, T. Nichols, for that. And we'll come back to at the end to just close off with that statement because it is powerful indeed. And yes, whatever you choose, look around your community and we can work around that. All right. And let us now go. There are many topics in here that I would love to share, and just some of the art, just why art matters in social movements is another thing that we could go ahead and read in here. And it's just so powerful. But because of time, we're going to skip on to the next bit. And I hope that you can find this book at your local library indeed, or where you find books, and get to share. And there will be an activity that I would love for you to try that is in the book, and it says try this. So as we are reading right now, maybe you could be following along and write a list of social issues that you know about, right? And from your list, according to the instructions in here, from your list, circle 2 or 3 that matter most to you. So what is it in your community that you feel needs your attention? Write that list down. Maybe set a target, 5, 6. What is it that you can put down? And then circle 2 or 3 in there that most matter to you. And then brainstorm how you might be used to protest your selected issues, as well as how art might help spark solutions to address them. Yes, something to think about. And then afterwards, you can organize with others to work too. You can collaborate. If you live with people at home, maybe they can add to your art. You can create a protest sign. So think, number 1, think of issues that matter in your community, that matter to you, that you feel need work, that you feel need your attention. And then from there, we can go on and design our own protest sign. So think about that. I hope you have your materials, or indeed after story time. And then now to go to our part, we'll come back to this again later on, but let us go to the youth-led movement. I thought this was an important piece, especially this week when we're celebrating all you young people and everything that you do in this world. And it says youth leadership and protest art around the world. And this one, the first page that we go to, is a visit to South Africa. I got the chance to visit the home of former South African President Nelson Mandela during a solo adventure to Africa a few years ago. Upon visiting the Apartheid Museum, which chronicles the history of ending apartheid rule in the nation, I was struck by the ways the art and graphics had influenced the social movement, and also by the stories of youth leadership that had propelled the nation toward freedom. Having witnessed the vision and power of youth voices first, and I'll read that again. Having witnessed the vision and power of youth, yes, young people, youth voices firsthand at the Ferguson Uprising, this visit made me want to learn more about how young people worldwide have led social movements. And you might remember this rallying cry, hands up, don't shoot. Powerful indeed how art is a tool of protest. And you can think of many things, and I'm sure after you've gone through this book, you will realize just how much is around us every time we see. If we see the clenched fist, you see so many different things, you recognize and you realize just how much art plays a role in our protests, in our movements, in the fight for justice. All right, so let us go to this one now. And we all might wonder, we're saying youth-led movements. But John Lewis was old. Then why are we reading about John Lewis? Well, listen to this. And it was a realization for me too that sometimes we forget with all these icons, people that fight for justice in so many different ways, we forget that they were young at one point, or that they started these things when they were kids themselves. And listen to this. John Lewis was a teenager when he began to dedicate his life to the struggle for racial equality in the United States. As a young man, he worked as a leader of the Students' Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, joining with other young people who put themselves on the line in the fight for desegregation in South Africa, in the South, sorry. In 1965, he was among the marchers badly beaten by police officers at the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. And if you've seen the movie Selma, it is talks about this issue as well. He went on to serve as a representative in Congress for his home state of Georgia for 33 years, from 1987 until his death in 2020, and remained a tireless fighter for racial justice throughout his life. So how can we emulate John Lewis? What can we do? How can we be inspired? How can we be challenged? John Lewis was a teenager when he began his journey in the struggle for racial equality in the United States. The fight goes on. You are needed. We go back to South Africa. In the mid-20th century, the Dutch and English colonial powers in South Africa imposed a stringent system of racial segregation known as apartheid. Students played a key role in protesting the segregation of the education system, including restrictions against the use of their own languages in school in favor of English and the Dutch variant, Afrikaans. In June 1976, an estimated 200,000 school children took to the streets of Soweto, a township in Johannesburg, in protest. 25 people were killed in the first days of the demonstrations, and as many as 600 had died by the time the uprising was over. Many of those killed were children. The protest and the brutal backlash against it spoke to the national, then international conscience and helped lead the eventual end of apartheid. To this day, South African teens are still protesting racism in their schools. In 2016, when she was 13 years old, Zulaika Patel led a protest at her school, which claimed that her natural hair violated its strict dress codes. Her leadership inspired further policy changes and movements, and the BBC named her one of its youngest celebrated global leaders. Yes, young people have the power. Young people are making changes, are making movement. They are fighting the status quo. Join them. Then I want us to jump to another one. And because of time, there's so much I'm sure you know about. We read enough here on Storytime, and it also talked about the students of Parklands. That was another youth-led movement. And then this time we go on to young climate activists. Yes, climate change is real, and we need to take action. As we can see from the drastic weather that is happening, one day is this, one day something else, thunderstorms, everything that is happening, floods, everything that is happening, we need to take care of our earth. We are reminded every single day we need to be taking care of this world. Young climate activists, the number of young activists across the world is rising. The collective work has been described as the most remarkable and important mass movement of our age. In 2019, the first ever UN Youth Climate Summit was held, and that same year marked the formation of Extinction Rebellion Youth, yes, known as XRY, a group of environmental activists under the age of 30. From local to global initiatives, young campaigners are coming together to demonstrate for action against climate change and to share visions of a fairer, safer, cleaner world. In this section, we meet the children of the climate revolution. Oh, yes. It feels strange to call them children, and they are doing so much. Let us look at the first one here, Vanessa Nakate. We cannot eat coal. We cannot drink oil. Ugandan activist Vanessa Nakate is the founder of the climate action groups Youth for Future Africa and the Rise Up movement, which aim to amplify the voices of African activists. She was inspired to take action after noticing rising temperatures in her country and has campaigned tirelessly for change across the continent, including for the protection of the Congo rainforest. Oh yes, go, do your work. Vanessa Nakate. And if you did not know that name, please read some more about her work. Let us see who else is covered in here. Many, and we're going to skip around, like I said, but these are short bits, and so we can get to enjoy them. We're going to read two more. Swedish teenager. Well, first of all, the eyes of all future generations are upon you, as they should be. And even us as adults, we need to be holding our leaders accountable. Petition them, protest. Call your leaders. Get to work. Greta Thunberg. Swedish teenager Greta Thunberg made headlines around the world in 2018 when she kickstarted the School Strike for Climate movement, encouraging school children to miss Friday classes to protest government inaction around climate change. What began as Greta sitting alone outside the Swedish parliament grew into a global phenomenon, with an estimated 1.4 million young people from 128 countries participating. Oh yes, just like we read yesterday, the tiny giant from that one seed a forest is born. How about Nadia Naza? People don't like to listen to what others are saying, but if you look at a visual piece, hear music, or experience artwork, they contain symbols and messages that are universal. Oh, absolutely. And I think that's Dee's message too in this book. Nadia Naza is the co-founder and art director of Zero Hour, a youth-led organization that shares the voices of young people in discussions around climate and environmental justice. At 15, Nadia helped to design the Zero Hour logo, which works as a visual tool to help unite people of all ages and backgrounds. Oh, powerful indeed. And we could go on. We could definitely go on. There are other youth in here. For example, here we have Bruno Rodriguez. We have Elena Gualinga and so many more. But because of time, we're going to end here for today. We're just going to jump all the way to the end and read, in conclusion, D. Nichols' message for you. Yes, you who is listening in today. D. Nichols has a message particularly for you. The whole book is a message to you, but there's a call particularly to you at the end. And here it goes. Over to you, she says. Our world right now is ripe for change, for progress, and for new ideas of what tomorrow can bring. Yes, what you can bring. As we continue to fight for racial justice, environmental sustainability, economic fairness, LGBTQ plus rights, public health, and so much more, our collective well-being depends on people rising up with vision, leadership, and unity to demand more of our existing systems and set a solid path forward to unlock new possibilities. And if those systems are not working, let's revamp them. Let us get rid of them. Let us put systems in place that work for our world, for our children, for all of us. As you have read the stories, witnessed the artworks, and learned the skills shared in this book, it is my deepest desire that you have been equipped and inspired to become a creative warrior, an artivist in your community. I hope that you have been guided in identifying the causes you care about and sharpening your creative muscles to take action through art making. And finally, if nothing else, I hope this book has helped you understand and believe in the power of art as protest. Yours, D. Nichols. How beautiful is that? How powerful is that? Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, powerful, powerful book. And really, we've only read excerpts from this book. There is so much more. I feel like we need to have a whole hour and yet another hour again to cover everything that is in here. Powerful book indeed, and powerful message, great reminders for all of us. And all you young people, well, first of all, thank you for everything that you're doing, because indeed you are doing a lot in making sure that this world is a better place. Yes, if you recycle, you do all the little things, you say thank you, you say please, you're polite, you do all the things that make this world beautiful. We look out for each other. Those are steps that you take. Those are little steps that are needed. It doesn't need to be the biggest thing that you do, but it can start from somewhere. Thank you so much for joining in today. I hope you enjoyed this powerful, powerful book. Thank you to you, D. Nichols. Thank you to CANDLEWICK Press for allowing us to read this one. And of course, this one is illustrated by Diana DAGADITA, Molly Mendoza, Olivia Twist, SADDO, and Diego BECAS. And I hope that you enjoyed every little bit that we shared today. And of course, are inspired and encouraged. And remember, we're implored to take action. We're implored to make sure that we play our part. Thank you so much, dear Nichols. Art of protest. Thank you, thank you. And I hope that now you've thought of the things that matter to you in your community that you would want to make a difference. So think of those things, write them down. And now that you have your list, circle the ones, two or three that are important to you. And then create that protest art that you need. And if you can, share it with Storytime, and we'll be happy. If you give us permission, we will be happy to share it here on the screen so everybody else can get to see what you care about, and indeed maybe even use your art in their own protests, in their own movements. Thank you for being here on Storytime. Let us see who was enjoying that story with us. Thank you for joining in today. Absolutely love it that we were here together. Oh, thank you so much for joining in. Yes, indeed, you can also think of what others are organizing around. Doing things in community is extra powerful and motivating. Thank you so much. And for you, Lydia, yes, we know you do so much. Thank you for everything that you do, you and your friends. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Please, absolutely agree with you 100%. Doing things in your community is extra powerful and motivating. Yes, let us show up if we can. Let us be there supporting all the different causes in our communities. Thank you so much for joining in. How are you doing today? Watching from Solwezi. Good to see you, Tokozile. Yes, with Malaika, Daniel, Juanita, Inutu, and Shama. Well, welcome to Storytime, Inutu. I don't think I've heard your name before, but welcome. Shama, Daniel, Juanita, Malaika, welcome back to Storytime. Good to see you again. Thank you so much for joining in. I know Zambia is not at the African Cup of Nations, but we're still watching it. We're still supporting everybody else that is in there and enjoying the games. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely. What a wonderful book, sharing ways for active involvement of younger citizens. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Amanda West, Sarah, and Nathan. Absolutely appreciate that. And they say, what amazing art. Thank you for sharing this today. Absolutely a very powerful book indeed, one that hopefully moves us into action. If we're doing whatever we're doing, let's add on more. We can always do a little bit more, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining in. And Marietta, you're saying we will definitely be adding this book to our shelves. It is a must. And I think this, I was talking to D. Nichols, we messaged, and we were saying how this book should be in the classrooms, should be in the libraries, should be in every bookshelf. And I hope, that even kids that do not have enough, we can organize around it and get these books to them so they can also enjoy reading them and, of course, be inspired. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad that you are here. And Lydia says, have a wonderful day, everybody. Well, indeed, have an amazing day too, Lydia. Thank you so much for joining in today. I am surprised you're up early. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. One more time to everybody that joined in. Thank you. Good morning one more time, Sarah and Nathan, and of course, Amanda West. Thank you so much. And just a reminder too that yes, others can also watch that bald eagle hatchling from Berry College Eagle. Let me see if I can go down to the link that they shared. So that link will take you and hopefully you can enjoy it. And they're saying, we hope that our Storytime friends, yes, you out there, can enjoy this as much as we do. If you're joining us live, thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience as we were coming in 5 minutes late today, but I'm glad we're here and I'm glad that you stuck around for this beautiful story, this powerful story indeed from D. Nichols. And of course, a big thank you to Candlewick Press as well for sharing this with us. Thank you for joining in Storytime. This has been Storytime for today, Art of Protest. Thank you to everybody that joined in. I am glad you are here and I hope that you have a wonderful day indeed. Thank you. And please keep sending recommendations to me of books that we should be reading here on Storytime or that you want to see. Most publishers right now have permissions open for us to be sharing books here. So please send them. And if not, we will work to try and get that book here to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. And I hope that you are motivated and encouraged. Tomorrow, join me. Yes, I am off work tomorrow. We have a wellness day, so I will be relaxing. But Storytime is at heart always, and we will be here relaxing with you together as we encourage each other to be strong. Yes, from Pat Zitlow Miller and Jen Hill. You know the series, so we'll be bringing this one to you tomorrow and reading it together. Be strong. Yes, join me for that one tomorrow. Today, this has been Storytime, a powerful book. Yes, Art of Protest, D. Nichols. Thank you. Lots to think about, and indeed, lots also to be encouraged. The future is bright. Our little ones, our young ones are doing so much amazing work. Thank you so much for joining me in Story Time. I will see you again tomorrow. Oh my goodness, hugs to each and every one of you. And yes, indeed, we'll be back again tomorrow for more Story Time. Go out there, enjoy the world. I hope that it's not, well, most places are cold right now. If you're in the northern hemisphere, please do stay warm and indeed keep safe. Thank you so much for joining in. And for my friends in the southern hemisphere, I know Zambia right now is very hot and also the rain. I hope that you're safe. I hope that you are well indeed. Thank you so much. Thinking about everybody out there who are, not in situations that are great, and we keep thinking about them, sending them prayers. And of course, if we can, remember to donate to these causes around our communities. Let us help in ways that we can, whether it's financial, whether it's through our energy, whether it's maybe making phone calls to certain places. Let us do that. Let us participate. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. Always appreciate you. Appreciate the time that we spend together, and indeed thankful for every breath that we take. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you again tomorrow for more Story Time. Much love from me. Bye-bye.
It brings to life your favorite stories with his great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start on the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Read me all of your stories. Read me all of your stories. Some with people who look like me, others very different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of your stories. Read me all of your stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Read me all of your stories. Read me all of your stories. Some with people who look like me, others very different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of your stories. Read me all of your stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. He brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start on the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start on the reading? We just can't wait to be